Sorry if I was a little bit late this time around, but at least I managed to actually start this before the game itself could start. I'm also gonna have to try experiment with a little bit of a different lighting setup than usual. You'll still be able to see a good chunk of stuff here, but I'm ha- I'm gonna have to rely on a different light source in order to be able to pull this off because I got myself a gold lamp here. So basically, the way I'm gonna be handling this, you'll you can actually see how it lights up better like this. So the way this is going to work is that every time somebody scores a goal, I'm gonna light this up like it was a hockey game. Every time there's a goal, this thing comes on, and it's actually not that hard. And this thing actually runs on batteries. I think it's like C batteries that this thing runs on. This was managed to get this on one of those fire sales that they were doing at the fan appreciation thing this past Sunday. Hey, yeah, if you ever wanted to get your hands on a gold lamp, make sure you do so. Oh, as soon as your team goes through a fire sale, where every, where everything around it is falling apart, and all they need to do is sell off all their assets, so they can get ready for next year to repeat the exact same thing. Okay, I'm joking. Though it does unfortunately seem like the Eagles stick around with the Iceman. Lovely. Just the thing I like to hear. Anyway, let's get back on topic with soccer. Once again, Chelsea has sacked their manager. I don't know why Chelsea decided to move on from. It's like the only reason I can think of for moving on from Arseska in the first place was because of inside tensions. That's really it. Just tensions going on inside. Want to know something else? The guy that they hired, they didn't waste time to hire the replacement mid-season. Yeah, but as we all know, mid-season replacement hires always tend to do well. They always tend to do well. That was sarcasm, by the way. Just look at Jeff Saturday. See why it's not the case. He had a Apparently he had an okay a start, but they just fell off so hard. Where it was five straight Premier League games where they did not score a single goal and then proceeded to lose. That is pain. It's no surprise that he got the can. Maybe this time they'll actually stick with an interim. Luco, you need to sell the team to more competent ownership. Knowing my luck, they'll probably find a way to bring in Bruce Allen into the front staff. Just so that Chelsea can experience that damn good culture. Also, man knows I got rid of the technical difficulties thing. That's because I decided I was going to keep track of. I decided to just use it as a tracker for other stuff. So basically, for every stream I do, up until they go on break for the up until MLS goes on break for the playoffs, not for the FIFA World Cup. But yeah, we'll see if Chelsea goes for the right move in the off season. They're just trying to survive at this point. Speaking of, Wolverhampton's actually getting relegated. And there's still a chance the Spurs may actually get relegated. If they do, it'll be outright hilarious. But yeah, I'll be using that little ticker, that little thing right there that's showing all the playoff matches. Apparently, I did one too many spaces on some of that. And I may not have included everything. Woof. Hold on, let me fix that. There is a game that I'm actually missing from the bunch. There's one that's missing. Okay, we should be good now. But let's get to talking about 500 the football club versus average Cincinnati season. I say average Cincinnati season because Bengals exist. Matt Freeze is in that net for New York City. They're running, and they'll be running a 4-2-3-1. I'm actually paying attention to how they're handling things. So Matt Freeze in that net under a 4-2-3-1 formation. And for Cincinnati, Roman Celentano will be in at net. Celentano in at net, just to remind you. And Cincy is running a 3-4-1-2 formation, which is, for those of you that want more simple, the, the default that it shows on the side is a 4-3-3 for New York and a 3-5-2 for Cincy. Which is not something I would think of normally. But Celentano is in at net for Cincy. This is the first time since he's actually making a reappearance under this. They they've actually been here for opening week where they won 2-0 over Atlanta. And since then they kind of did an average season. They did an average Cincy season because of the Bengals' existence. But Matt Freeze is in for New York. So yeah, but yeah, every time somebody releases a goal, this goal lamp right here will activate as I go in to update the little goal thing. Let me see if it'll do it from right here. Yeah, you can see this little flashing light thing here. I wish there was a way for me to actually showcase it at a better spot, if I'm being honest. Maybe I could find a spot to place it somewheres so that y'all can see when I go to press it. Instead of me having to like hold it up like this, try to let y'all know about something. Like there, I have that flamingo thing over there. I haven't even bothered with using it yet. That thing runs on batteries. Thinking about moving it. I'm thinking about moving that thing to maybe over here, whenever or something like that. Somewhere's where it can be seen in a frame. That is. I might be able to pull something like that off real quick. Now that I think about it. Let's see here. I have this smooth view. You are just gonna have to deal with it. Let me see here. Trying to do this before the game itself starts, okay? Not easy. Man, this thing has been sitting there with dust all this time. I'm just hoping this thing still works like it should. I should also get changed into appropriate gear while I move this thing over. Probably been so long it needs new battery. Probably been so long it needs new batteries in it or something. Let's see if that's the case here. Yep, it was in need of new batteries. So it'll be all good to go. Let me just get on some appropriate gear. this. I'm not gonna pull out the jersey, okay? I'm not gonna pull out the jersey. Here we go. I think I did it in time. Yeah, it hasn't even started yet. They're about to show the win probability. Yes, you heard that right. They're playing in Yankee Stadium, where there's a baseball game. Here we go. Set it up there, like that. Look at that. It's a neon flamingo. Neon flamingo, neon flamingo, neon flamingo. So I don't think it can capture it properly from the neck. Well, it's not gonna capture it properly regardless of the angle. At least I put it in a better spot to where I can utilize it more. Let's see if I can get it better utilized as the game is officially underway at a baseball park in Yankee Stadium. It's weird how it's called Yankee. This here would be a better name. Flamingo Park. But game is underway, which means I actually need to refresh the thing over here. New York is in blue, Cincy's in white. Let me see here. Should I no, that'd be a no, over there would be a bad idea. That'd be a bad idea. I'll just have to make do with what I can, okay? Just know that the goal lamp's over here, near me. Doesn't my background look a little more lively now that I moved the flamingo over here? Truly Florida when you think about flamingos. Ain't that right? Oh yeah, Charlotte is playing against Orlando on the road. So that'll be an interesting match. I'm trying to make sure this thing over here is at good enough angle. That good enough angle? Mm, maybe. It, it is kind of hard to tell that this is supposed to be a flamingo. But here's your flamingo. And yeah, this thing's been sitting out there gathering dust for a while. Oh yeah, that too. Not really just battery, but that too. Remember, but yeah. Flamingo, everybody! Flamingo! Flamingo neon lights. can't see it, well, I blame it on lighting. But yeah, just know I have the goal lamp ready to go. I have it ready to go for whenever it's needed. At reasonable enough spot where you can see some flashing. If you see I'll just I'll just keep it straight to the point and say, if you see this blue flash right over here, somebody scored a goal. I'm thinking of making it a standard thing where I flash it for goals. I may flash it for touchdowns when the NFL season starts back up. You know what I mean? I am not gonna flash it for basketball. I don't know if I'll do it for baseball or not. Maybe whenever there's a homer, if I do baseball. I might do baseball, I might not. It depends on my mood. I think I need to redo my. I think I need to overhaul my MLB thing. Anyway. I don't get Canva sometimes. Don't worry, we'll get back to the actual screen thing. It's just weird. I don't get how that thing can't be found. It's this is my thing right here. Is this one broken too? Apparently Canva in general is broken. Hold on, folks. Technical difficulties here. Canva's apparently broken. Canva is broken right now, everybody. Canva is broken. Canva is usually the site I use. Yep. Canva is broken, everybody. Canva broke on me. Let me try doing a little something here. I might have to make use of one of my other site things here. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. This was just working. Wow, Canva really is down. Well, this definitely changes things. So, Canva's down. And I don't get how it can be down. Oh, Canva is actually having some issues. Just suddenly. Well, we're gonna have. Well, you're just done with Rosa. A little bit of Rosalina, at least for the moment. I might be able to think of something to salvage it right now. Let me see if I can think of something here. Cause Canva, my usual side is down. Not what I was expecting to see a curb. But that shot is way over. So I might have a way to salvage this. Don't worry. I might have to fall back on something here. There might be a method for me to use. Everything else is working just fine. Don't worry. Everything else is working just fine. It's specifically Canva. I might be able to find a way to salvage this somehow. At least until Canva comes back. We'll still try one more time just to see. It's still down, so let's see here. Online score tracker stuff. Let's just use this little. Let's see. Do I want to use this little thing? We're breaking down all over again. Keep score alive. Yeah, this won't help me. Online scoreboard. Online scoreboard. Give me a free one. Give me a free one I can actually make use of. Okay, we'll go with this one right here. We'll just do this right here. Just follow standard rule procedure, folks. We'll just borrow this one here for the time being. We'll borrow this one here for the time being. While we try to get things sorted out. Just remember standard rules apply. And that's offsides. I'm trying to do what I can here, okay? Well, let's try something else. Real line maker? Maybe. I'll do this and then I'll just do this. Is it back? Okay, we're good. We ain't got anything to worry about. It's back. Let me adjust this back to... That was a little bit off for Canva there. Canva's the place I normally use for this kind of stuff. So Canva is back online, which is good. There we go. This was the latest version that I've had base for the baseball thing. I'll definitely need to fix this. I'll definitely need to fix this right here. This is not going to fly. This variant here won't fly. It certainly won't. If I'm gonna be doing something like this for a baseball thing, I'll have to fix it. It looks rather ugly. You can definitely tell how ugly it looks. And I don't mean ugly in the ill work sense. I'm not happy with this one. You can see for yourself here. I don't even use this font for the I don't use this font for the standing records anymore. I don't even use this thing. This thing is pretty much grayed. Now I would need to apply the green thing to this, and then you can tell. I think the if I want, I think one of the main changes I would want to do is get rid of the balls and strikes counter, but still put emphasis on the outs. And while I'm also thinking about doing so, I'm probably just gonna make the main thing that I've been doing more universal, as in take this format here, have this thing up here, just have this thing right up here, say how many active runners there are on the base. This has been a tried and true format here. I'll probably just copy and paste this onto a separate baseball one. You're getting a look behind the scenes as we watch some soccer. As Cincy will get a free kick. By the way, who do you see winning? New York or Cincy? It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. Because this could be technically be like lower tier New York team, but they are technically the bigger brother New York team for having actually won a championship. Versus the Bengals, deciding to be the Bengals at the worst possible time, maybe. Maybe. And speaking of goals, we just had one right there for New York. Yes, that's right. New York is on the board first. It's a New York City goal. I'm trying to balance things out here as Nicholas Fernandez manages to strike first for, for NYC. The only New York team of soccer to play in New York. Yeah, the Rebels actually play in New Jersey. In fact, I think they spent the entirety of their history in New Jersey. Funnily enough. So there you have it. First goal of the game goes to Fernandez. You know, the more I think about it, the more I start to realize how universal this particular format actually is. And we also have a down player for Cincy. As the medical team is out there giving an assessment. He had to be helped up. Wonder if this means it'll result in a substitution. But he does seem to be able. Yeah, they're gonna just not take the chance. It's gonna be a sub. Bay is able to get up under his own power. He's actually able to walk under his own power. I mean, but they're not taking. They're not gonna take any chances with him. They're sending in Powell to take his spot. They're not taking any chances with that. Let's see. Oh, guys, this one is old. Now, this one was like one of the first. This was like one of the this was like one of the old test ones I did. This one was like way back. Who knows how long ago? These ones are old. I think these were like These were like pre-stream stuff. You're looking at how things used to look before I did streams proper, as well as some of the streams I did way back in the early stuff. This was way back a long time ago. That format is outdated. All I gotta do is copy this entire thing over. So here's what I'm thinking of doing. Here's what I'm thinking about doing for. So here's what I'm thinking about doing it for. Here's what I'm thinking about doing for soccer. These numbers up here. And that was a breakaway that almost occurred. So here's what I'm thinking about doing for future, for any time I decide to do baseball. I'm just gonna use this little universal thing. Use this little more universal format. The numbers where the points normally are would indicate how many players are on base. And just like with the NFL, whenever there's a V, that means that team is up. And then, because I want to have a little bit of a baseball centric thing, so here's my thought process. This up here would have this number up here, instead of it being points, it would be number of outs. Outs on, like, how many players on the field versus how many outs they have at that point. These here obviously being the runs, and these down here indicating who's at bat. Pretty straightforward. That should work for a baseball thing. Should work for a baseball thing. By the way, the MLB, the NBA, no, not NFL draft is tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. NFL draft is tomorrow. I need to add that to be NFL. And This has been the current format for some time. This has been the NFL format for some time. They're they're an outlier on this front. I'm happy with how the NFL format has turned out. And while I'm thinking about, um, I don't know if I want to apply. I'm unsure if I should apply the more universal variant for the NFL or not. If I did, the point counter would just be how many timeouts there are in the half. I might do it if I decide to do the CFL. But I don't know if I want to do it here. That's the problem. But you are seeing a little bit of a preview as to which games are first up on the docket. You can definitely tell I'm still keeping the. You can definitely tell I'm still keeping some of the evolution intact. But I don't know if I want to adjust it to the universal setting because of how the score can be. If I decide to go with the more universal setting, it would make it easier to keep handle the timeouts. Because when it comes to hold up, gotta switch back to this for a moment. I just heard a little something go off up in my head for just on my little thing. I need to see it through here. Hold up. It's a little off. We got the ball back in play. Here comes Cincy. Who get it through the net? It's tied 1 apiece. Oh, yeah. I said I was going to do this. You get a little extended version of that. I'll leave it going for a little bit, but yeah, as I was saying. I don't know if I want to apply the universal thing to the NFL stuff yet. They're a bit of an outlier. It's mainly due to how the scoring is. If I did, it would make this easier because, as you know, no, that's already set up fine as it is. I think I'll just leave the NFL as it is for now and just, yeah, I think the NFL is already fine as it is. But I think I got something going for MLB if I want to do MLB again. I don't want to track all that complicated stuff, okay? Just make sure that thing was actually still working. But that's enough about that. Let's actually talk about this game here. It's tied at 1 apiece. Kevin Denke was able to get the goal. How I would hate to have a name like that. There's no telling how much ridicule I would have gotten if that was my name. I can check these batteries later to see if they're still good, but just in case it is actually a battery thing, they're done. Batteries, you're done. Don't come back. I do think I like having that flamingo be part of the permanent fixture over here. Gives the room more, gives the background more character, if you know what I mean. Gotta have that character, am I right, everybody? Am I right? I'm not gonna try to play hard eyes over this time. I was just talking about some behind the scenes stuff. Good idea, microwave a microwave? How would you even microwave a microwave? Put a microwave inside a bigger microwave? Hey, but here's New York! It's in! That's Nicholas Fernandez again! And just like that, the lead goes right back. A crazy series of events here. Nicholas Fernandez nails it in again. Just crazy, ain't it? You ready to lose yourself over this? You ready to lose yourself? I feel like every time I notice something specific going on, I'll be like, oh, hold up, something just happened. I better pay attention to when it happens on the live feed. And that Tim is actually going to miss this time. It just makes its way on. It just had a bad angle to where it bounced off the net. New York will not go up by 2. It was just a bad angle where it just bounced off the left side of the net. No, the right side of the net. What am I saying? Celentano's left. Not is my right. Jeez. In fact, the Rebels are also winning 2-1 right now over DC. Talk about a weird coincidence. Meanwhile, it's scoreless in Toronto. They're at the BMO. And the rivalry of Charlotte and Orlando is definitely being the rivalry of Charlotte and Orlando. Oh yeah, Columbus and LA. The Galaxy. Now have a to be determined on their little thing. There must be some sort of delay going on. That is not gonna find its way in. That'll be a corner. The the only other one that's live from this time slot is New England. Well, they actually started a little bit later. Here we go. 1 hour ago. Kickoff was delayed. So the kickoff actually got delayed for that one. So they're currently undergoing a weather delay over there in Columbus with a bunch of rain. A bunch of rain going on, and that is wide over to the left. But there's two more games that are about to start that are 3:30. Then we got got the head of a Cincy player. He's making sure he's all good. And looks like he is able to get up under his own power. Must have been pretty minor. He'll be fine. Maybe Atlanta was still supposed to start at the same time, but had a delay in its brief delay. And I think that's a player down for New York. Is he able to get up? It looks like he may have been able to. That was not what he had wanted at all. I don't think that's what the team wanted at all either. Here's New York. Nope. That's just going to end up being saved by Celentano. No, more like it ended up right in his hands, actually. He came a little bit out of net because it was going to go right into his hands. If you can believe it. Yes, there is a designated area where the goalie alone is allowed to use hands. Only a designated area. Everyone else and everywhere else, use your feet. I mean, how else are goalies allowed to make saves? But we will still have some stoppage time coming up. And I do mean stoppage time. There's always stoppage time. There will be inevitably some other returning teams. I try not to have them appear too many times in a row or in a short span. As it like we had Cincinnati in week 1, and here we are in week 9. How do I? By the way, how am I going to How do I label? I know they label them as match days, but I think I'm gonna label the next one as like a week 9.5, unless there's a certain other way I have to do it. But it'll be 4 minutes of stoppage time. That I think we're past. We're already about to wrap up the first minute of it. The main reason I just went with periods for this one is because, well, it's just simpler. It's really half, but you really want me to go through that mess? Penguins being penguins, by the way. Just thought I mentioned that. Man, I can only imagine how Tree is feeling. Can't believe a hockey game broke out in this Philadelphia fight. That stars wild that night. Eh. Yeah, about penalties and first periods. Speaking of, we should be keeping an eye on the NHL playoffs. We are. At this point, I'm considering rebranding the bio and stuff to where it's just sports content. Where all we do is talk about sports content. That's really all we've been doing around here. By the way, Seagrass did tie it up for that Pens Flyers game at 1 each. I'm still gonna leave the channel name as it is. I'm honestly thinking about changing the logo again. To something that better highlights what this channel has really been about. That was a dangerous play by Celentano to close out this first half. That was a dangerous play from Celentano. I'm not sure if that was a major risk that could have given up a goal, if you know what I mean. Celentano nearly allowed that to happen. But that is it for the first half. But yeah, I'm likely gonna end up. I'll try. I want to still have a transparent logo somewhere in there. Because at this point, having that transparent logo has pretty much been part of it. Part of why I do. It's like all we do is talk about sports here, pretty much. Why not go all in on the branding? Well, it's all really been streams in general. At least I'm becoming more and more consistent with it. This intermission will be going on for a little bit. Quite the eventful first half, ain't it? Yeah, they're just gonna go through the halftime report. I need to shave again. I'm good for another round of shaving. Mm, definitely been some interesting things. But yeah, everything has been favoring New York City in that first half. Seriously though, they've been playing at ball baseball park. I don't know how these teams are still able to do so all this time. But I do think New York City is about to get their own new separate digs. And I think it's supposed to open next year. Honestly, about time. Look at all those drones they got over there in the stands. Quite crazy, ain't it? Yeah, I'm trying to protect my eyes a little bit. Oh yeah, that bobblehead thing. Definitely is something. Yeah, those are definitely some scores. Yeah, they're on free kick for 2 games. There. Come think about it, this is the second time in a row there's been technical difficulties on stream. Like last time, the MLS site started having brain farts time on timekeeping for what minute it was. And then today, and then earlier this stream, it was Canva having a meltdown. Wow, they had Gritty beat up a penguin and throw him overboard. Wow. And that's just mascot stuff. I did not expect somebody to go on a rant over AI on Good Morning Football. Like, guys, you're supposed to be talking about the draft coming up, not this controversial topic stuff. Um, Unless the reason they're talking about that controversial topic stuff is because of what the NFL is asking for. Which case, well, it's just standard NFL business. Well, it's just new. Also, Houston versus San Diego and Dallas versus Minnesota are active, by the way. They are active. Oh, they're about to start the second half. I didn't even go anywhere this time. I actually sat through it. Hooray for progress! I just light up this gold lamp just for that. Woohoo for progress, everybody! Woohoo for progress! That that joke had to be made. By the way, you know how long some of these people will go out of their way to yell out goal? Like they'll take so long you think that you're talking to someone who only knows one word. I don't know. It just seems weird. Weird how long. Well, not weird. It feels like, why are you going on for that long for a goal? We know, we already could tell from the first few seconds of you yelling it, it's a good goal. It's also, oh yeah, there was a substitution for Cincy. Powell's backed off. There was apparently they just did the substitution unless they did it during the halftime. So Powell is not on there anymore. They swapped him out for Chirilla. It's weird. I don't think I've seen your first substitution go on, and your second would then be taken off in favor of your second substitution. I don't think I ever heard anything about that before. And that shot is not gonna end up getting a chance. Salentano was right there to stop it. But New York got back short there. Saved by Salentano. He stops it within its tracks. And now he's gonna kick it deep. Cincy kicks it out. We're currently on a streak where 2 games have ended in a draw. Will this be the game that snaps the streak? Remember, we don't see a game go into overtime until the playoffs. And another save. Quite the lengthy weather delay in Columbus. This rate, they might not be able to play the game. And now we got 3 games that are at score of 2-1. There was a little thing of tic tac toe. They were making posts of tic tac toe. Kind of funny. I love how the social media teams for the crew in the galaxy just did a game of tic tac toe. By the way, this was earlier, but Cabello Flores got shown a yellow for Cincy. It wasn't too notable because, well, I didn't have to showcase a red. But Flores will have to be careful now. And this one might actually go in. It does. New York takes a 2-goal lead. Augustine Ojeda manages to get into the net. That was quite the way for that second half, for the second half to kick off thoroughly. I like how it when media teams do stuff like that. Eyes wide. There's definitely been a variety of things that have gone on throughout this. And here comes Cincy traveling down, and they make it back within one. It's now a 1 goal difference yet again. As Evander da Silva Pereira, yeah, have fun pronouncing his name fast enough, gets the second goal for Cincy. It's, it's going to be a review. They're going to the review for a potential foul. They're checking. They're going to review. That is quite interesting. So they were checking for a foul. And it looks like it will they will it'll revert they will return the goal. They determined it was a foul. So Evander won't be able to actually get his goal for this one. And we got very frustrated, Echenike. Very frustrated as he is taking off for Valenzuela, and Flores is taking off for Anunga. So it's back to a 2 goal. So it's basically still a 2 goal difference. Man, 3 apiece between the Red Bulls and DC United? Wow. It looks like they have officially slated the kickoff for Columbus and LA at 9:45. And now it'll go in for Cincy. Let's see if they try to reveal this one. And this one's for Kevin Dinsky. Dinky, sorry. Kevin Dinky again. Now for yeah, that was a good goal, so they're gonna count it this time. Quite the game, ain't it? Yeah, that one is not gonna get a chance to get lined up. And here comes Cincy. Oh, look at Matt Freeze doing some heavy lifting now. And crazy stuff like usual. As Apparently, a yellow card may have been thrown out. For yeah, there's what's gonna draw the yellow. Kyle Smith for Cincy gets it. Penguins got that golf course. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. That one was pretty good. And yeah, New York is doing their first round of substitutions. Oh, no, I should make that 3. Wolf is coming up for Parks, and Morales is coming up for Magno. Oh man, that was actually pretty fun. Pretty funny. Penguins going to golf course. Just crazy how that is. Just crazy how this has been. Maybe I really should have gone with the Red Bulls in DC. Just find it crazy. We're getting some of these scores the way they are. Well, Houston and Minnesota strike first in their games. Well, that is just not gonna find its way over. Better hope you're not caught off sides. Yep, off sides. You remember those moments where the refs see something that is just that that's just something they can't help but laugh at? Like like those like those times you had that NFL ref smiling then over the false start everyone but the center. Oh, cool, Braves won. That's cool to see. And now here's New York, and that is straight into the net. Straight in. Straight in. Oh, geez, and now I'm getting hiccups. Dallas Magno gets it in. Oh, jeez. It's now 4-2 in favor of New York. Jesus, I'm getting hiccups. Jeez. Tied at 4 apiece between the Red Bulls and DC. What is going on this week? Cincinnati is going to the golf course. Santa going to the golf course. Yeah, that is not going in. That was Celentano saving it. I'm definitely going to need to get some water before I apply that special stuff. It's quite the game. So, let's just start keeping track for each season end of this. Barry Barbo got a hat trick. Somewhere's in there. Also, the final substitution for Cincy was used. Barlow came off for Jabari. And here comes substitutions for New York. Fernandez is coming off. He won't get a chance for a hat trick. He's coming off for Farnos. And Ojeda is coming off for Shore. As in the ocean shore. So, New York is down to one sub left. And they're on pace to take this thing home. Literally. In a baseball park called Yankee Stadium. But yeah, this has definitely been some stuff. Jeez, Orlando keeps scoring and scoring. Jesus. Something about Charlotte and not being able to win against Orlando. Some seems weird. Yeah, that's wide. Completely wide as this thing is about to make its way towards the stoppage time. But yeah, New York is just gonna make their final substitution. Gray's coming up for Tanasi Yabik. Yeah, I know some frustrations when I see them. There's still gonna be some stoppage time to go before this game can officially end. It'll be 7 minutes. And I'm sure those 7 minutes are gonna count for somebody. Probably not for goals, but for somebody. It'll definitely. Oh yeah, it is a complete and utter embarrassment on the end of Charlotte. You're telling me? And then that is straight into the net. It's a goal for Cincy. We're now back within one. Andre Chirila gets it in. One goal separate these two in stoppage time. Quite the crazy events this has been here. Oh, come on. You can't be crapping out now. There ain't no way the MLS side is crapping out now. Come on, ain't no way you're crapping out now. I hate it when they try. No, come on! Stop crapping out, you dingus! But I'm guessing they're gonna be looking at yellow. Was that a yellow that came out? I don't know because the flipping side crashed out on me. Okay. No, it was just a regular foul for a free kick. I hate I hate it when when technical difficulties happen at the worst time. That's straight in. We're tied. I repeat, we're tied. This game could actually end in a draw. Evander gets in another. Right off the free kick. This game could really end in a draw. An absolute choke. What the heck is going on here? And we still gotta complete the 7 minutes of stoppage time. It was a penalty kick shot. And he got it in. That stuff for a penalty kick is probably gonna remain controversial. And they're gonna stop that one there and issue a yellow to Brian Anunga with the clock winding down with time running out for either side to actually win. Does anybody even want to win? That's the question. Does anybody even want to win? Since he's trying to go for the comeback. But there's but they may not have the time to do so. That ball is not the way from the area. New York sending it into the no, it's wide left. And one last push for Cincy. Game still going. And it's still gonna continue. Yeah, the out of bounds area is the only other time you can use anybody can use the hands. Just to throw a pass in. Cincy trying. And we have a player down for Cincy. And they're calling out the training staff. They're calling out the medical. They're calling out the medical people. As we're still going here. Creeping up on 100 minutes on the on the uh, clock. He'll be thrown back in like nothing happened. All the way down. And that's gonna be a foul on New York. This game still going. I don't even know how much stoppage time is even left for Cincy to actually try to score, or for anybody to try and score. Right now, New York has it, trying to quickly send it down. But that's it. No, Cincy forces a draw in stoppage time. Not joking, they really forced it. Not sure how they did it, but they did it. That comic, it, that comic came too late. It ends in a draw, just like that, man. It just ends in a draw like that. That's it. Whew. That was an experience. Choked away in stoppage. A lead choked away in stoppage time. An absolute shocker. Yeah, it was definitely shocking how that went. Absolutely shocking. He jumped in right at the end. And just to see that. Just how crazy of a game was it? That's how it ends. Literally. Well, I guess after that craziness, I'm gonna definitely need to rest. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Definitely gonna cover the Pirates playing hockey. And until next time, travel safely. Good night, everyone.